and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Scintillation State Studio in Northern California, home of Ukulele J Barbecue. Get your wood fired up and your charcoal burning as we get our smoke on with the worldwide streaming Strum Pluckin Good Live.
We got it going on Super Bowl Sunday. Billy's Bacon's joining us. The show must go on. Even though the Super Bowl's happening, just consider this your pregame show. We're going to have some good talk about some pork, bacon, bellies, all things. We're on the air live. Thanks for joining us. It's been a fantastic Sunday. It's a great day today. Sunny as can be, finally, after all the rain here in Northern California. We are in the studio live in Castro Valley, and we are really excited today to bring the show of Billy's Bacon. Fantastic guy. You're going to have a lot of good stuff to talk about today. Good times. We got the live chat going on YouTube. So for those of you that have any questions, we'll try to field them and make sure that we can get you in front of Billy on the chat. So I want to thank our sponsors today real quick. We've got, of course, my favorite, Dr. Bill's Candy Maple Syrup. We've got Dat Sauce, Dat Ketchup, Georgia Earls, Voodoo Roasters Coffee, Ocean State Pepper Company, Naughty Wood Barbecue for those fantastic almond and plum pellets. And they got something new coming that I can't tell you, but you're going to hear about it pretty soon. We got the meat stick, which I do my cooking with for my temps. And of course, thank you so much for Billy's Bacon for wanting to be our newest sponsor and how to get him on the show. And take a look at my website. I've got 100 new photos that have been posted of my cooking. You can take a look. I also have a new section called the recipes, and I do have a bunch of recipes up there that was by request. It's got all the instructions, the ingredients, everything you need to know to replicate the stuff that I'm cooking. And I want to, without further ado, bring on the king of bacon, Billy from Billy's Bacon. Billy, thanks for joining us today. Everybody's looking forward to hearing from you.
Hello, Ukulele J Barbecue fans. Happy to be with y'all today.
How are things going in Fairhope, Alabama? I never heard of it until I started buying your bacon.
Man, they couldn't be better. The originators called it Fairhope because they felt like they had a fair hope of surviving the winter.
Now, you, I understand, were not born and raised in Fairhope, right?
Not at all. I've been here 22 years, but I'm from Yazoo City, Mississippi, cultural center of the universe with Jackson as one of our major suburbs.
Okay, and so you went to elementary school there, grew up there, everything, and then what took you to Fairhope, Alabama?
Following a girl, of course. Met her at Ole Miss. Spent a little time in Memphis, and then came to Mobile, and then crossed the bay, heading east to Fairhope, Alabama.
Wow. So you settled in Fairhope, and what did you first do when you got to Fairhope? What was like your first job? It wasn't obviously the restaurant, right?
I was working for a great company at the time, Ruby Tuesday Restaurants, and I was an operator for them, and I've worn a lot of hats for them for almost 20 years.
Wow, Ruby Tuesdays. I think is that chain even still in existence?
They are no more. I hate to hear that, but they like a lot of the other corporate casual dining concepts have I can't say they failed. I would say a lot of America gave up on them when they started becoming foodies on Food Network.
Yeah,
the word corporate became a bad word.
Yeah, that's true. We used to have, I don't know if it's still here, we used to have TGI Fridays. It was kind of the chain, which I think was kind of like Ruby Tuesdays, right?
It was founded barely about the exact same time, but it was on the East Coast.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so interesting. Well, so you worked for Ruby Tuesdays, and then something popped in your head and just said, I'm going to start a restaurant, or what happened?
Well, that popped in my head when I was 16 years old. It just never left.
Okay.
But when it was time for me to depart from Ruby Tuesdays and open my own place, I just decided I wanted to have a great little hamburger joint, and I wanted to create products with my brand, and that's where the bacon concept came along.
So, one of the things is there's a lot of people on here that have wanted to do their own business. They want to make their own sauce. They want to open their own barbecue restaurant or have their barbecue food truck. And, you said you've been thinking about it since you're 16. And, it takes obviously capital, planning, a lot to get a business going, especially to go from, nothing to a restaurant. I mean, I would imagine that's got to be a hell of a learning curve with, health stuff and licensing. And I would imagine it's a lot more complicated than having a food truck on the side of the road.
Well, it is. And even if you've done it your whole life, take this year, for example. Some of the greatest operators in our industry are on their knees right now. I mean, things happen, things change. And, when you serve the public, it's just, you got to be prepared and do everything you can to muscle through these things.
Yeah. It is a tough time. I know that all the restaurateurs, and especially the Bay Area, we've had a lot of restaurants close that are not going to come back, which is really sad. We've tried to, do takeout and support local businesses. And we actually just got a delivery this morning because people asked me, what are you cooking for Super Bowl? And I said, it's my show today. I don't do really cooking. So we order, there's a guy named Patrick Lindeza, and he makes poke, all kinds of poke. He makes poi, lao, all this stuff. And this is a guy that was a musician. He probably could go and serenade your bacon with some great slacky guitar playing.
Bring him on. I'd love to have him.
I'll have to talk to Patrick. Maybe he'll come down to Fairhope. He's a cool guy. But, same thing. It's like people are trying to invent themselves to survive. And one of the things that these people are doing is the delivery business, which is really kind of cool for people like us. But I know for the people in the business like yourself, it's hard as hell because I would imagine the volume you have to do is so much more because people aren't coming in. They don't see the drinks. They can't order all the extras you want, people buying. It's just, I'll order this meal and that's all they get.
That's right.
So you got the restaurant going, which tell me the history. Cause I did my research. I read about the name, which wasn't Billy's. Now I believe you changed it to Billy's. And what's the story about that? Cause I know it was about a road and I don't know the geography, but there is a story with that. I'd like to hear that.
So a couple of miles from my house is a county road that used to be County Road 27. The state had taken it over before I put my restaurant there and called it 181. So the numbers, they added one more number to it. And so I was going to call my restaurant Billy's. That was all my concept. And a couple of weeks before I opened it, the guy that had working with me, a super guy named Dennis, miss him today, he painted on a piece of tin, Old 27 Grill. And we were like, all right, that's it. So we DBA'd it and called it Old 27 Grill. And then over the years, people would say, what's 27 mean? And we're in a town that's just constantly growing. People are moving here from all over and they don't know what 27 is anymore. And then I started making the bacon. And people would come to get the bacon. They were like, I didn't even know you had a restaurant. I was like, well, that's it. Everything's Billy's now. So it's still two separate companies. I have Billy's Restaurant, Unpretentious Grub, Cold Libations is our slogan. And then I have Billy's Small Batch Bacon, serenaded by songwriters, savored by carnivores. So they both sit next door to each other. We make the bacon for the restaurant promotes the bacon. So it's a great little marriage.
So you said something that's interesting, and it's awesome about, our bacon is serenaded. It's on your packaging, and I'm going to show everybody, of course. I just bought 10 pounds, which I finally got because I know you're so busy, but comes in this awesome wrap. It's got all your, I guess call them Billyisms, right? So,
That's right.
I only use dark brown sugar from the finest molasses to make my bacon. You're welcome.
You're welcome. That's
you're
right.
welcome. I love those things. Or what's the other one? Is let's see, the salt I use to cure my bacon is pink. You got a problem with that?
I love that one.
It's a great. So I got this, and it's got the thing by serenaded by songwriters. So what does that actually mean? Because I it's kind of curious that you say that. And is it really serenaded by songwriters?
Well, when you decide to start a second company and you don't have any extra real estate, you end up with a closet, or what I would like to say was my little small backup kitchen.
Right.
About a 10 by 10 little room where I kept all my extra gear, and I would go and tinker and work on recipes and did a little catering out of there. And it just happens to be right behind the stage at Billy's.
Okay.
So if you're sitting there plucking your ukulele on the stage.
Can I pluck my ukulele on your stage?
Exactly. Looking out to your crowd of people, with cigarette lighters in the air and all that fun stuff. Yeah, exactly. Just 3 feet behind you, there's several thousand pounds of Billy's small batch bacon being cured and smoked and sliced and packaged.
Well, there's a thing they say with ukuleles is that they open up over time, right? Because the vibrations of the strings, it makes the wood, you're serenading the wood. I think it's the same thing. I think that vibration does something with the pork bellies, maybe,
I know it does. It not only does it make my team happy, I just think it creates a fun and calming environment. And everybody loves music. And I mean, growing up in the Mississippi Delta, I'm a huge blues fan. So, if I'm ever at work, I'm kicking on some kind of blues music in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Delta blues is great. Mississippi blues. My dad actually is a big harmonica blues player. Matter of fact, that's all he knows is blues. He doesn't even know a single band of any genre unless it's somebody that played blues, which is kind of weird. But that's how it goes. He's just a blues fanatic. So maybe one of these times I'll have to get him down there because he'll hop on that stage with a harmonica faster than you can slap a Billy's bacon.
I hope he makes it there.
Yeah, maybe it'd be great.
Yeah.
So
tell him to look up Gatemouth Moore.
Gatemouth Moore.
Yeah, he's from Yazoo City, Mississippi, and I could look out of my bedroom window and see his little house.
Wow, I'm gonna make a note of that, and I'll tell my dad after the show. I think he's watching, so
yeah,
he's probably writing it down right now, and he's gonna start Googling. He Googles 1,000 things and sends us like articles every 15 minutes. Some days it's just crazy. But Dad, if you're watching this, I don't need to know about Gatemouth Moore. I'll check it out myself. Thank you very much. So along with the restaurant, so how many businesses do you actually own? I mean, you got the restaurant too. The restaurant.
And let me correct you. Okay. They own me.
They own you. Yeah, I think I asked you like.
I'm not complaining, but they. I mean, it's my life.
Yeah, I would imagine running two businesses is that is your life. I mean, there's not a lot of free time, unless you of course have a company where people can work for you and at least you can trust and you can leave and not worry about things. Which most people I talk to, the owners, they just have a hard time doing that, getting away and shutting off. So I'm sure you probably don't take a whole lot of vacations, right?
Not in the last couple of years, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I wanted to know is you talk about the serenading. You talk about, let's get into the pork, the pigs, which is the meat of the conversation. No pun intended. Yeah. And I was just going to show people because I just love this. So this is your bacon. I mean, it's huge. And I've measured. I'm kind of weird. I measured all the slices as they come, right? Over the orders, many orders I've got from you. We're talking like 10 inches long is like the average. Is that pretty accurate? Your pork bellies must be huge. I mean, they're fantastically big, meaty, super thick slices.
Yep.
Fantastic. And, I had to, before the show, I had to do this because I love baking. You hear that crunch? It's great. But, what's the situation with the bellies? I mean, where do you get your pork from? Because obviously, and I want to hear about how much pork you move. You got to have multiple sources, right?
I have to have multiple sources. And if I hadn't had multiple sources when COVID hit, I'd be done. I spec out beautiful hogs. I like to know that. Well, I have to know that they're treated right. That they can go inside and go outside and play in the clover and go inside and write in coloring books, meaning I want them treated right.
Okay.
A good environment, a good farm that's following all the proper practices. I require no hormones and no growth antibiotics. Those two things make the biggest difference. It takes about 8 months to go from birth to bacon. And those 8 months are important that all the right stuff happens. They're fed properly. They're treated right. They're not just all hemmed up in some crazy box. That's not what I'm looking for. So it all starts with choosing the right ingredients. They come from Southern Iowa and Southern Illinois. And I'll tell you why. I constantly, about every other week, somebody will say, well, how come you're not buying local hogs? I'm like, well, grow me some. They're not doing it. Back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, our government made it very hard on the small pork farmers. It just, they tightened up all these regulations and everything, probably some of them for the good, but it put so many small pork producers out of business that it pulled everything back up to where the feed is in our country. So the Midwest, Southern Iowa, Southern Illinois is where I get my hogs from. They're delivered to me twice a week. And then we take those bellies. I just get the bellies. I don't have a big enough facility to get the entire pig. And when I do, it's going to be a game changer, and I hope we do another show when that happens.
Okay.
I can do the butts and shoulders following my practice.
Wow.
But the bellies come in and we cure them. One of my fun Billyism is she was a perfectly healthy sow. I cured her anyway.
You have tons of Billyisms. I mean, I was doing research, got all this information. When Berkshire red pigs and Chantilly white pigs get together, magic happens.
It does.
And
I count on that magic.
So are all the pigs? Those are the two types, and you make sure that every farm rancher breeds those together. Is that the requirement? That's
right. It started with 3 small farms, and now many farms are growing for me.
So how much belly, I guess, are you going through in a week or a month basis, numbers wise, pounds wise?
As much as I can. I mean, through the holidays, it was 3,000-4,000 pounds a week.
Wow. And then you have an online order business on top of it for the Billy's Bacon, not just buying in the restaurant, but online.
Right.
Which I was part of, and I know there's a wait because it's so popular that you have to take your number in line and wait, and you can't rush things. And
right.
Hey, I know I called you. I'm like, hey, Billy, am I getting my bacon soon?
Man, yeah, I feel that there's no way to properly verbalize that in writing on the website other than, look, somebody will click the thing next day air, and I have to explain to them that it may not be made yet. I mean, we made a commitment when we started this gig that we're not going to put anybody ahead of anybody else. And we have done that since it started. And so however the orders roll in, that's the order they roll out. And we make it, we're never going to compromise our process, our ingredients, our procedures. And we have to make it all under USDA supervision. So it's made the right way, but we may not be able to make it as fast as you'd like. But I promise you, when you get it, you're going to love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. It's the best bacon I've ever had in the world, and I really mean that. And that's, I'm hooked. As you know, we have our repeat orders that are coming in, and up to 10 pounds because 5 pounds went fast. And by the time my daughter tasted it, she stole a pack, and then my wife gave away a pack, and, Jay gets no packs. So
Billy's bacon gets stolen. I can tell you this. UPS put a statement out about it.
Are you? What do you mean they put a statement out about it?
Yeah. My bacon was getting stolen because we were putting stickers on the outside of it. It was getting hoodwinked all across the country.
So you don't wrap in this anymore, right? For sure.
Well, you don't see that when it's in the shipping process. It's in a box or a bag.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow. So, when you're doing this bacon, it is hickory smoked. Mm-hmm. Tell us about the process. And obviously we're not going to give away all the secrets, but take me through the process of, do you receive the bellies every day? Is it, I get delivers on Tuesday, I start smoking Wednesday?
2 or 3 days a week, the bellies come in.
Okay.
They've got to go through an 8-day curing process. We tested everything, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days. 8 is where we landed, and 8 is our process. And, it's got to wait 8 days. It's got to be cured with dark brown sugar, real molasses, heavy kosher salt, a tiny amount of pink curing salt with no nitrates. Yes, it has a tiny amount of nitrite.
Okay.
So you could kind of go a million directions with that, but just enough to make it legal. It's all rubbed around on the bellies, top, sides, bottoms, cavities, crevices, the whole deal. When you think you got enough on there, you do it all over again. And then you fill our pans, and then you place them under refrigeration where they sit in there for 8 days. After 8 days, they go into rotation to smoke. And we have custom-made smokers, which we can smoke 75 to 100 pounds per smoker. They're named after my childhood friends and college roommates: Billy the Original, Thomas Harwood Eubank III, Jimmy the Cundiff, Robert Bobby Dunn, and Thomas Harwood Eubank III.
Wow.
I can introduce you to my smokers if you come and visit. But every day, those are loaded, fresh wood chips on the bottom. They're stacked in there in a process that makes sense so the smoke doesn't get hindered. You don't just cram them in there. You've got to really kind of baby these things and put them in there so the smoke, flows in and around them properly. We smoke them to our desired temperature. remove them, and then we have to chill them. That's the big key to my business. We have to get that product chilled within a set amount of time. After they're chilled, they stay in the refrigerator overnight, and then the next day they go through the either selling as a whole quarter belly or slicing into 1 pound sticks or slicing into slices, and then they're individually hand packaged and wrapped, and everything's traced. I can track every belly all the way back down to where it came from, the shelf it sat on, and which smoker, front or back, all of that fun stuff.
Where did this come from, Billy?
That came from Fairhope, Alabama.
I want to know where. Like, this wasn't on your seat, was it, at any point?
What's the number on it? I could find out. But
well, is that because you're a USDA facility, correct?
Yes.
What does that mean? Because I know guys hate being part of that.
The law states in America that if you're ordering any kind of meat that was packaged for sale, it has to be USDA inspected. And if it's not, somebody's not going to be able to do it much longer. I mean, you've got to follow the process. There's a reason the USDA is there, and it's a good reason. They are some really wonderful people. They treat everybody fairly, and whether your facility's 500 square feet or 500,000 square feet, it's the same rules. But it's not easy. These are things that I went to school for, like writing HACCPs and hazard analysis programs and identifying critical control points. And my team believes in those processes, and we want to make sure that we're giving you the best bacon you can get.
Now, the interesting thing about that is, I'm learning a lot about USDA because, we've talked. I've bought my own cattle and pigs, and I'm getting ready to process an Akushi Wagyu coming up in May. And I was talking to the butcher, and they are a USDA facility as well. And one of the things that I wasn't aware of is I didn't realize, have you guys got any notices from like Homeland Security on filming and things like that at all?
I get something in the mail or on email from them every day.
Yeah, it's crazy. So one of the things that's going to be a problem now for a lot of people that want to film in these facilities, I've been told, is that Homeland Security is telling these people that you are not allowed to have videotaping going on because the food chain, food supply, which I thought was pretty interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, I mean, it is smart, and I am going to be going and doing some photography work, and I'll be filming outside, but I won't be filming inside when it gets processed, but I'm going to be supervising the process. And so with that being said, you have to pay USDA, or they're just there? I mean, how does that work with the inspectors?
Well, I mean, you could say you don't have to pay them, but when you do all that's required to do this business, you're paying a lot. Right. I mean, yeah, quite a bit. We have to do, they have a desk and an office on site with a comfortable chair and an internet, a phone line, locking filing cabinet, and they can be there anytime they want to be.
So it's a serious business.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. So they're actually walking around when you're doing stuff. Like, do they do it every day to make sure the same processes are followed? There's no deviation.
Every day. And some days they're checking in receiving, and some days they're checking in curing, and some days processing and smoking and slicing and packaging. And they're going through all of the steps that we put together in our cycle of our process to make sure we're doing what we agreed to do. And so it's really, it's helpful. I don't think I'd like to be doing what I'm doing without them.
Well, that's good to know, because I know a lot of people don't really even know what the USDA does. They just know it's a stamp on the meat, but they don't know. They don't understand the process they're involved with our food supply on a regular basis.
It's some of the greatest men and women in our country too. When you meet them, a lot of them have a agricultural background. They probably went to the ag school in their state. Some of them also are farmers on the side, but they're just men and women that love the industry. And they've taken that path for their career field, and they're really good people. They really are. They're kind of the silent folks that a lot of people just don't know about. But every city's got one. Got a bunch of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of USDA facilities. The one I'm going to is a USDA, going to be a USDA facility also. So I know they have a lot of rules you have to abide by. But so when it comes to bacon, have you? I know I saw a video of you somewhere. Obviously pre-COVID, you were out at some big event with the bacon, and we talked. There was a bacon lady and all sorts of stuff going on. Are you? I know you're pretty big with the community and getting out and doing events. And I know today you said we were on IG Live before the chat with everybody, and you said that you're going to do some sliders, I guess, today, and something else, and to deliver, you're going to have a little Super Bowl event.
Yeah, I'm doing some pulled pork sliders and some red beans and sausage. And one of the little local watering holes in Fairhope is called the Bookseller. And they are located in Page and Pallet Bookstore. And it's a genius little place in downtown Fairhope where a lot of my friends hang out. And they've invited me to, just come and just serve some good snacks during the game. So the stuff that I love doing.
That's
and then
great.
I cater offsite all the time and do a lot of personal chef events. And then, you name it, I do it.
I mean, it's amazing. You own two businesses. You're a personal chef, which I know I've seen, the photos of you going out and you're cooking. And, thanks to you, I had to let my wife know I was getting the Fire Disc, which of course I got.
What a wonderful product.
It is a wonderful product. And she's, she hasn't seen it in use yet, but she's going to pretty soon. But yeah, I love that thing. And, of course I had to go out there. I did a live, and I know you're always so busy you didn't see it, but I did a little thing with some Aloha coffee, which I make. And then I actually seasoned it with Billy's bacon all over.
Wow.
And man, it seasoned it so well. I was really happy about that. But yeah, so the Fire Disc is really exciting. And I saw you cooking on it. You did that steak with that sauce in the middle. What was that you do? Describe that again, because that was really good.
I just take great ribeyes, and as the fat rolls down into the center of the disc, that's where I create my butter sauce. I put a little Dr. Bill's Canyon maple syrup in there. The beef drippings, real butter, rosemary, thyme, garlic. So as the steaks are cooking slowly around the edges, I'm taking a spoon and basting them as they cook, and then just serve them right out of the disc over some garlic mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts or asparagus, whatever I can get. And
sounds good.
It makes for a fun little dinner party, and I do that quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. You're a restaurateur, you own the businesses, you're a very good cook. I've seen a lot of things you've done, and you enjoy doing it, which is great. You do the private parties, the private events. So I guess you really don't have a social life other than cooking for other people, right? And running your restaurant.
At the moment, I don't have much of a social life.
Yeah, we got to get you one, man. If I come down there, you're gonna have to take some time off because we're gonna be out all night for a couple nights, and you're not gonna have any time to do that. We'll be eating some bacon and some Bloody Marys, I'll tell you that. But that's about it, right? And some pork belly.
I like the sound of all of that.
We are, for sure. I'm gonna take you away. I'm gonna tell your staff, look at this. This place has got to run. Nobody screw up anything. I'm gonna be checking on you guys. And
I've got a great crew there. They Miss Amy runs the restaurant, and we've got some good things going on there.
Well, that's great. Now in your restaurant, you have some great drinks, because I know your website says libations, grub, and events. And I do want people to know that Billy's Bacon is for the bacon, but if they want to look at your restaurant, it's bill-es.com.
That's right.
So there's two different websites, of course. One's for the business and the other's for the restaurant. So for people that are watching the show or listening to the podcast after this, check out bill-es.com, and you'll see all the great stuff. He's got libations, grub, events. He's got his phone number off of a Highway 181 with the instructions, the directions. So, I was looking at the home page, which is great, man. You got this burger, and it looks amazing with the bacon through it and a knife stuck in it, and the French fries. That's just like hometown eating. I like that. Nothing super fancy.
Holy cow.
The holy cow. Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's holy cow. What's on that thing, by the way?
Man, that's kind of a burger that gives tribute to a lot of the places that I worked in. But when I was a teenager back in Oxford, Mississippi, I worked in this restaurant on the square called the Downtown Grill, and we made this dish called the filet paulette. And so I made a burger. Instead of using a filet, I take a 9-ounce certified Angus beef hamburger patty. I encrust it in coarse ground black pepper, sear it in clarified butter.
Oh,
as it's cooking, I add caramelized onions around the side, Worcestershire, heavy cream, and finish it off with some tomatoes, and take that patty and serve it on a locally baked bun. And when it's all, and then you put the cheese on top of it, and then you pick the skillet up and pour all the sauce to finish the cheese off. and the sauce just kind of creeps out into the French fries. It's pretty amazing.
You know, I haven't had lunch. I'm so hungry. Hold on a minute. God, I'll take a bite of that.
But you mentioned our address. We're just to kind of give people geographically where we're located. If you think about Mobile and Pensacola, we're right in between. Of course, we're a little bit closer to Mobile, but I can be at the Mobile airport in less than an hour, or the Pensacola airport in less than an hour.
So are you, is the restaurant right off the Gulf? I mean, right off the water?
No. I mean, Fairhope's on the Mobile Bay, and my restaurant's a couple of miles from the bay. But if you keep going down, and if you've heard of Orange Beach and Gulf Shores, Alabama, they call it the Redneck Riviera.
Yeah.
That's 30 to 45 minutes, depending on traffic from the restaurant.
Yeah,
a lot of people when they're heading east and they cross the Bayway, they hang a right on any of those highways. They pass right by my restaurant when they're heading to the beach.
And I couldn't believe it. Your restaurant's open 7 days a week. There's no day off, right?
No, this is 7 days a week, lunch and dinner.
And it looks like you open at like 10:30, I think, every day. And then Sunday it says 10:30 till, I guess, whenever you feel like closing, right? That's what it says.
Well, so many people open at 11. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat 10:30. We have them show up at 9:30 or 10. I mean, we tried breakfast in the beginning, but we're just kind of off the beaten path little place, so we don't get a ton of breakfast traffic.
Now, one of the things that I want to show people is, people come in their cars, old trucks and vans.
Right.
You had people show up on donkeys or horses and a mule, I think it was.
I'm
pulling up the photo right now for people to see on here. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, go to youtube.com/ukulele barbecue for the show, folks. I got lots of people on IG checking this out. But if they go to YouTube and see this, there's a woman and a man, and that's how they arrived, right, to eat at the restaurant.
One of them showed up on an ass.
On an ass. Yeah,
that's
a big ass on the right. I think she's holding that
right.
one. And did you know them at all, or no? They just showed up.
That was my first time meeting them, but they show up pretty regularly. We're just in a really unique town. And places like mine, there aren't many left, and that's what I struggled to build and to create. And I want it to look like it's been there for 100 years and to feel that way too. Yeah,
it looks like it's pretty rustic, right? Is it all wood? The structure, the bar area?
It is. Yeah, everything's wood.
Yeah, at night, those really cool, like those round light, those low. I love those things. It just
tin
takes
roof,
you back.
When it rains, you got to speak up and talk to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things that always fascinated me with, Billy's Bacon was that, it's just the flavor is incredible. And when I hold the package, and I told my wife first day, I just did this and set it down, and I went. And I wanted to eat my fingertips. It was like, I don't know how you do it, but the hickory smoke on that stuff, it's not, we all smoke, and it's really cool that you're a barbecuer, you're a smoker, which is cool because everybody watching the show is probably a barbecuer. Right. And, you're not just, Billy's Bacon, making bacon and sending it out. Some guy that's, sitting in an office somewhere. You're out there cooking with everybody. We talked about tailgating and the little grill that I got. And, you want to do that with that old truck you have, which is awesome. You got to do that. Hook that up. At Billy's. And it's just, I don't know how you do it, but that hickory smoke. It's not like when I cook with hickory in the backyard, it's pretty strong, right? And on the meat, you get a good flavor, but your hickory and how you do it is not the same. It is, I don't know how to explain it. It's more of a pure hickory smoke that's mellow, right, but it's intense, right? Like you can almost feel the flavor coming in you just by touching it. Can you tell me, like, you have the custom smokers, but how do you get that flavor in the bacon?
Well, it's the consistency of the bellies that we get, the consistency of the process of curing, and the consistency of the smokers. So when we decide to upgrade a smoker due to the fact that it might just be, on its last leg, which is, there's not too many parts to change on, but when it's time to upgrade a smoker, you can't just bring one in and just go. Matt, my plant manager, he'll spend a week calibrating it, because, and that's kind of where we learn, the placement of the bellies on the racks, granted, we want to make as much as we can, but we're not going to cram 100 to 125 pounds of bellies in there because it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. We're going to stagger them and place them so the smoke, articulates throughout the whole device. And it makes a really, really big difference. And speaking of the smell and the aroma, people send me videos of their pets in the kitchen when they're cooking Billy's bacon. This one guy sends me this video of his dog licking the outside of the oven every single time he cooks the bacon. And I just fall on the floor crying, laughing, because I just like, we've got something going on here when people are sending me pictures of their pets licking the oven.
Well, I'll do a video and show you, because if I have Billy's bacon, I open the refrigerator, both my dogs will get up on the back hind legs, and they will literally follow me and walk around the kitchen because they want Billy's bacon. And, my wife always yells at me, like, don't give them that. I always give them some Billy's bacon. I mean, they love it. It's not right. I mean, you got your animals. They got to have some bacon.
That's right.
And,
and it's not inexpensive bacon, for lack of a better word. A lot of people will say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much I just paid for a pound of bacon. I'm like, well, yeah. And here's what I tell them. I say, look, you're heading down to the beach. You got a bunch of kids. Buy the store-bought bacon. Get you, 5-10 pounds of that. Get you 5-10 pounds of Billy's. When the kids get up in the morning and go to play on the beach, have that inexpensive store-bought stuff cooked for them and let them go do their thing, and then break out Billy's adult bacon.
I like that. I give the kids a crappy bacon. That's my always say. My wife says that. So I tell my wife, give her the regular bacon. No, she needs Billy's.
Smart kids will sleep a little later and know what's coming.
Yeah, well, yeah, my daughter sleeps in like half the day when she's visiting. So I agree with you. That's one of the things that I'm glad you brought it up, because, one of my philosophies is people go out to restaurants and they don't think about this. So people watching this show, you're going to think about this when I tell you this, but you go out to your restaurant locally and you order 2 eggs, some bacon and toast, and you pay $9, $10. Okay. And to me, it's like, man, damn, that's expensive. It cost me 2 eggs is 50 cents, 2 strips of bacon, and a cup of coffee. I'm going to do it for like $1.50. I'm going to pay $10. But you don't think that, right? Going to a restaurant, you're going there to enjoy it. You're getting serviced. You don't have to cook. So that's a cost.
Well, I mean, dishes to wash.
Yeah, it's no dishes to wash.
Right.
It's nothing spilling on your floor. They can clean it up if you spill it. I mean,
Right.
So, when I first started buying Billy's bacon, that was my thing too. Is wow. I didn't say wow, it's expensive. I just said, wow, this is a little bit more than now. Not the local Oscar Mayer, that garbage in a package that's all sealed up and you see it's been sitting there on the shelf forever. But I've gone to some butchers and they have bacon, and it's around kind of a similar price. And one of the guys on here, he went to bacon. And it was funny. He's telling the story of his wife, and she's like, "You're not going to pay." There was local bacon, but it was probably small batch. The guy made it at the butcher, and it was probably, I think it was like $11 or $12 a pound. And the wife was saying, "You're not going to spend that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I am." He got the bacon because it's just good, but he had a hard time like paying that price. And so, for those people that want to eat really good food, and that's me, I want to buy the freshest stuff, good stuff. It doesn't have to be organic. I mean, the organic thing is a whole other topic, but I mean, we've been eating organic since the 1700s. It's called just normal food coming out of the ground, but now you pay double for being organic. But with that being said, I think that the price it's decent what you're going to pay, and for what you get, and people have it. You don't look at it anymore as, oh, it's X amount of pound. It's, oh, Billy's bacon is this, and I think that's fantastic. So, we could have a name. We're Billy Baconers for life. Is that? I was talking to my wife. What are we? We're
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we're Billy Baconers for life, and I think price is it's a mental thing. I mean, you can look at it how you want it, but you buy 10 pounds, it lasts a little while for me. Not long, but it lasts a little while.
Well, hold that up one more time, and let me show them something.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's got an SL on it. That's a sliced package.
Oh, yeah, right.
But if you were to order the unsliced, it would look identical to that, but it wouldn't have SL written on it. So it's the same 1 pound, but it's not been sliced into strips. And I tell people that is the way to order it if you really want to enjoy it. Yeah. So instead of trying to take a knife to it and cut it into the long slivers, slice it sideways against the grain as thick as your cell phone into little squares. And they fit perfectly on a biscuit. They make a nice, instead of using crackers or toast on your cheese boards, use the bacon and have a completely no carb cheese board. Cheese on top of bacon with some fun other accoutrements or whatnot. But the unsliced 1 pound stick it started off being, that was about 10% of the business. The other 90 was sliced. It's about 50-50 now. And
Really?
I project as more people order, it'll go 75-25, where more people will order unsliced. And we're also getting more people that'll, on the notes, will special order, I want a 5-pound catch weight belly, meaning they don't want the 1-pound stick. They want a nice, half side of a hog. And we sell that too.
So now is that listed on the site, or no? They have to put the notes for that.
Well, like if you order 5 pounds unsliced, it's not going to come. We don't have a way to put catch weights on there for some reason.
What's catch weight for people that don't know? What is catch
right,
weight?
So, like if you order a case of ribeyes for a restaurant, every case is a different size. So a catch weight is approximately, so let's say 10 to 14 pounds, and it might come in 12.62 or something like that. So we would have to sell the quarter bellies at catch weight because we can't slice them exactly into 5 pounds.
Okay.
So, but like I was saying, if you ordered 5 pounds of unsliced, you're not going to get a 5-pound brick. You're going to get 5 1-pound sticks. And that's where all the bits and end pieces come when we trim them down to make those 1-pound sticks. And then we're running it through the slicer. When you get down to the ends, it's the beautiful burn end pieces, and the lardons that's kind of our little secret little product too. We don't have any waste. The drippings, everything gets used.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of people watching. Actually, we have a lot of people right now on YouTube, which is awesome. Thank you so much for everybody getting on YouTube. I'm trying to build this up, and this is episode number 6, our 6th interview, and I'm going to keep it going. I love doing this. So, Billy, if you don't mind, we've got some questions on here, some cool stuff. Jeremy Dunn, who actually I know is the owner, the founder of George Earl's barbecue sauce. He said it was interesting. I went to college in Salisbury on Maryland's Eastern Shore, and there was a bacon factory nearby that would fill the air of the entire university and surrounding area of that absolutely amazing aroma. Do you know about that place?
I don't, but I would have never graduated if I would have been there. I mean, what a great way to go to college, and waking up smelling bacon every day. I mean, wow. Now, I know about Maryland, and I've spent a lot of time there, but I hope that place still exists.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Jeremy, if you let us know if that place still exists, we'll have to check that out.
If you got pictures, send them to me.
Yeah, if you have pictures, Jeremy, if you have pictures, follow Billy and send them to him. He wants to see them.
Well, most people in college have pictures of himself with beautiful cheerleaders and stuff like that. He's probably standing in front of a bacon plant. I would be just as excited to see that picture.
Yeah, I have some pictures I can't show from college. So barbecue, Oscar, great guy. He said, I tried some bacon salt. I saw it on a video today. Have you tried it before?
I have. It's not bad. I mean, from what I can assume, it's just a really good salt that's been tossed around in bacon drippings and things like that. It seems like a great product from what I see.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of stuff from bacon. So, one of the things that I was curious about with the bellies is, you talked about it, but you have this great picture that I'm going to bring up, and it caught my eye. And it's you did I guess you call it a charcuterie board. It says Billy's Catering, and you did the cheese and bacon board with Italian accent by Cento, and you always sprinkle Keys Southern Spice on your boards. Last night in Fairhope, that's a cool shot. I mean, you got the crackers, but explain to me, is that looks like just. It's bacon, I guess, but isn't that just the pork belly cut in chunks? Is that what you're talking about, the squares?
Yeah, that's the unsliced stick that I cut. I cut those a little thinner than I normally do. Okay. But I slice it as thick as your cell phone, and then I just put them in a skillet. This chance I had the fire disc, and I just seared them all up, and then let them rest, and then layer them across the front of my boards, and it's great for a cheese board. I mean, pick it up, put some blue cheese or any of the other cheeses on it. Little jam or jelly, or in this case, I had caper berries, artichoke bottoms with like a eggplant tapenade inside. It was a killer little board.
I wonder what that was. I didn't pick up. I was looking at it. I wondered if it might have been artichoke hearts, but I couldn't tell. And then I had no idea what was inside of them. So, but it looks fantastic. I mean, the cheese, how you did the layout with the crackers and the cheeses on both sides going out at an angle was great. Got a good eye for plating that up. It looks really, really nice.
Thank you.
So, what's going on with Billy's? What's the plan for 2021? I mean, we are going to get out of COVID for sure. I mean, vaccines
we are.
They're going out everywhere. Just announced today that another company is going to come on board. They're going to double the production. So I think we are getting out of this. And when we do, what's kind of your plan? What are you visioning for Billy's Bacon and of course for the restaurant?
Well, the two companies, of course. The restaurant, the ultimate goal is to continue the home base in Fairhope, Alabama, and then to eventually, as I have good people that are willing to open up a little Billy's, I would like to kind of go east and west across I-10 and open a little Billy's, which is a house-made burger concept with our bacon. Just very simple, quick and easy menu. You could open it in an end cap or stick it in a little shack in an area that people thought would never make anything of it, and do just order from the counter or go full table service if you want to. So that's the plan for the restaurant. That's been the plan since day one, and we're not changing that. The bacon, however, it's endless what we can do with it. I have to get a larger facility, and we were really looking into ways to do that. The two hurricanes that hit us really, really hard. 18 trees hit our facility in the last few months with these two hurricanes. And then, of course, COVID on top of it. I mean, it's been brutal. But the goal there is to get a larger facility where I can do all pieces of the pig, the butts, the shoulders, everything, ribs, following my curing and smoking process. Because when I make my pulled pork after I've cured it, like I do my bacon, it is second to none. I'll stand it against anybody's. So we want to grow that little facility to where we can never compromise our practice, our processes or our procedures, where we can make enough bacon to at least keep up. And I don't want to have. I say that now. I mean, I really don't want to get into trucks and distribution and drivers and all that insurance and all that crazy stuff. I want more distributors. And I mean, I'm currently in the U.S. Foods warehouse. I'm in several of their houses in the Southeast. I'm in the Benny Keith warehouse and hoping to move that further west. And then I'm in a great little warehouse in New Orleans called Peroni and Sons. So I've got 3 nice warehouses that are picking up my product whenever they need a pallet of it. And then I've got 3 others that are talking to me right now. But I can't just, at this point, I can't just say, oh yeah, I'll make it, because we can't make it fast enough. We've got to stage it. And that's what we're working on right now.
So you have, how many smokers do you have actually going all the time?
6.
And what does it take to bring on a 7th or an 8th smoker? Or do you just not have any room at all
well,
where you're at to do it?
I could bring on more smokers, but I don't have enough space to slice, package, and refrigerate. And it's not like you can just say, oh, well, I'll just do it in this little shed or whatever. You've got to follow all these procedures. And I'm looking for some investors and the way to go about this the right way. The whole plan and procedure and process is all outlined. So, I mean, the vision's there, of course. And we're just, trying to get to the next level where we can blow this thing up.
Now, when you talk storage, I don't know the physical, I should look on Google, but the physical area of the restaurant or where you're doing the smoking, is there a lot of space for room around there at all, or no? Is it kind of a boxed in building with, trees?
Yes and no. I mean, there's only so much that I'll be able to make on that side. I'll have to have another side.
And you're obviously want that close to where that is now. Close. Yeah.
I want it close, but I just, it's got to be the right fit. Right. I mean, the ultimate goal is for, anybody that comes to the Eastern Shore of Mobile Bay to, not leave without a pound of Billy's bacon. That alone right there would sustain us.
Yeah. One of the things that I want people to know is you have a bunch of awards, and, people always ask, like, has your bacon been in any competitions? Do you have any awards? And I've got a list here, and you should be pretty proud of this. You were one of the awards is the top 3 bacons in North America. I know you were recently, I saw the article, you're one of the top 13 bacon producers online, which is really cool. And, obviously people that can see that hopefully are buying your bacon, because I know you said you can't produce it fast enough, and my order had to wait, a long time till I got it, because can't rush Billy's bacon. I know that for sure. Best burger on the East Shore. So not just bacon, but burgers, your food for the restaurant, which is awesome. You had the Nappie Award winner. Is that it? And I don't even know how to pronounce that.
It's from the Lagniappe magazine.
Lagniappe magazine.
Something extra over in Mobile, Alabama. Great people.
Wow, that's really cool. Best sandwiches in America, pork belly sandwich by Restaurant and Hospitality Magazine. That is very cool.
Very proud of that article. Very
That is
proud.
awesome. Tell me about that pork belly sandwich?
Well, it's the unsliced 1-pound sticks I'm telling you about. So we take those after we've gone through the whole process of curing and smoking it. We confit it, where we basically take them and put them in a hotel pan and cover them in their own pork lard. And on an oven about 200 to 225 degrees, we just slow roast them for about 4 hours. Pull them out, take them out of that fat, which you can use again and again and again, refrigerate them overnight, and you get a bite that is just, I mean, it melts. It's you got to eat the sandwich fast because everything just kind of melts. But we put it on a local fresh bun, coleslaw, my barbecue sauce, Wickles pickles, which are made in Alabama, pimento cheese, which is my grandmother's recipe. So you've got all the great Southern ingredients on a hot, warm, or a warm buttered bun.
Oh my God, that sounds so good! Wow.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you got the best sandwich award for that.
Well, as my college roommate would say, that'll make a little dog break a big chain.
Exactly. I love your confidence. That's what it's about. You got to be confident in this world. And then you got the World Food Champion bacon. Where was that at?
Well, the WFC was started in Florida. It's managed by an outfit out of Cookeville, Tennessee. Great people. And they created this sporting event of food. And the whole idea is to bring people from all over the world to compete and to follow these eat procedures where all of the preparation and the judging is all done to specific standards. And then after they left Florida, they came to Orange Beach, Alabama. And when they came down there, I just kind of found out about it. And a buddy of mine was their spokesperson. And I went down and brought a whole bunch of bacon to share with everybody. And I just made friends from all over the world. And it's been in Dallas the last couple of years. I think it'll be there again this year. WFC is something everyone should be involved in. Follow them, see what's going on, because it's the mom and pop home cook can get in and compete against Emeril Lagasse. I mean,
I'd like to beat his butt. I can beat him. I can beat
I'm just saying, it's phenomenal the way the whole process works, and just to see the excitement on someone's face when they win something. And then it's really, really a big deal in our industry, and it's helping our industry a lot.
Well, we'll have to check that out. World Food Champion.
WFC.
That's awesome. And then going on with the awards, Culinary Fight Club ingredient. What is the Culinary Fight Club?
Culinary Fight Club. I could tell you about Culinary Fight Club, but I'm not supposed to.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's Culinary Fight Club is another great organization. And they have a couple of really cool spokespeople, and they travel around the country hosting culinary competitions, which are usually hosted by a restaurant or a catering company or a city or a venue. And they've asked me when they're in my area, and I use my bacon as one of the ingredients. And the way the whole thing starts off is there are all these set ingredients on the table, and everybody's got like 60 seconds to go grab as much of what they want. And then they have to go back to their tent or their table or their station and prepare this recipe. And if you win one of these events, you get a chance to get a golden ticket when you can then end up at the World Food Championship.
So it's almost like the SCA competitions with the golden ticket.
That's exactly right.
But for cooking anything, it's going to be for whatever they.
SCA, another outstanding organization. Tons of competitors in it. Reach out to me and order my bacon, and I work with them on a regular basis.
Yeah,
Kansas City Barbecue Society. I'm a certified judge.
Oh wow! Yeah. When's the last time you did some judging for them?
Not this year. But I hope to soon. I would go every time I can. It's one of my favorite things to do.
I'm so jealous. We don't have Jack over here in Northern California. I mean, we got you can get like some Sprout sandwiches and some other stuff. But when it comes to these meat comps, it's not existing. So one day, hopefully, there'll be something I can maybe attend to that's close by. But that's how it goes. I'm going to be busy, I think, on the road, coming and seeing you and cooking and eating. Billy's Bacon everywhere else, and hanging out down in Pensacola. Got a restaurant down there I want to go check out, and lots of fun.
Yep.
So, and then now this is really cool, okay? Because if you're from the South, right, and if you're from Kentucky, right, you're into bourbon, but you won the award for the Southern Whiskey Society ingredient.
That's right.
So did they do bacon infused? Is that what happened?
My bacon was an option for the Southern Whiskey Society and their event in Nashville, Tennessee. Again, another one of my favorite things to load up and go to. It's a lot of my brothers in the food industry, some oyster providers to other ingredient makers and small batch makers of different products. We all load our trucks up and head up there, and we get to talk about our products while the chef uses our ingredients to hopefully win. And I was honored to say that the folks that won used Billy's small batch bacon.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, you definitely have a nice distinguished award list going on, and I think I know.
Well, this is an award, being on the Ukulele J Barbecue Show.
Come on,
this is phenomenal.
Hey, I really appreciate you. It's something I'm doing to give back to the community, and I'm really trying to build up followers more for friendship and people to cook with, all across the United States and Canada, and I'm going to meet my goal for sure. And we're doing good. We're past the 33, I think, 100 mark, and on our way to hopefully 10,000. And I'm going to have that many friends to go see, and you're one of them. And I got a lot of people I want to really dive into the culture and see the United States. And one of the things that I talked to my wife about as we wrap up the show is people are always into traveling all over the world, right? I mean, and I've done it. I've been in different parts of the world, but there's a lot of places in the U.S. I don't know anything about. Haven't been there. I've been in Texas many times for work. Love Texas, right? Been to Nashville, but I haven't hit really the Deep South, and I want to really hit the Deep South for all the food. Of course, we love New Orleans. We've been there. We're trying to get back there, but with the COVID thing here in California,
right.
Yeah, it's hard. But we will be back, and I'm hoping by the end of the year, at least I'll be able to get back there once the vaccine's done, and cooking with some great top chefs and some restaurateurs down there as well. And then not far from you, so I can come and drive and see you. But I really appreciate being on the show, Billy. It's fantastic. You got a great mecca down there in Fairhope, and I hope people that are on the show, anybody in the South that aren't far from me, I know there's people that are watching that are in Mississippi, not too far, some people that do the competitions that can just head up the freeway and come visit you down in there, Fairhope, and I hope they come see you, and when they do, they can go, hey, I saw you on the on Strum Pluckin Good Live with Ukulele J, so that'd be kind of cool. But
it would be great.
Yeah, so before we go, I want to remind people, I think you said you're gracious enough to offer a really cool offer for anybody that's watching today. It'll be available till, I think you said the end of the month, if they use Ukulele J Barbecue, and they buy 5 pounds of Billy's bacon. You want 5 pounds at least. I go for 10 because 1 pound goes in 2 days, you're gone. You waited all that time for a pound of bacon, eat it, it's gone in a matter of a day or two, and you're like, damn, I got to wait for another round of Billy's bacon. So 5 pounds minimum is great. They get the hat free. Billy, you have the hat you can show people, by the way? It's a cool
right.
vintage. Let me see. Let me back out here so they can see you. There we go. Got the cool vintage hat. It's hard to see. Can you grab that sucker?
Yeah, let me get it.
All right. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a vintage hat. It's really soft. Actually, I got one. I like it. It's really cool. And fantastic. There you go. All right, Billy's Bacon, Fairhope, Alabama, and make sure you get your 5 pounds of bacon. I'd go for 10 pounds if I were you, because I get 10 pounds at a time.
Reach on, bro.
Absolutely. Well, Billy, hey, thanks a million. I know you got to go. You got to do some cooking, and you're going to have a good time. Hopefully you can relax a little bit, because I know that when you're giving out food, making people happy, it is a nice, relaxing experience. So hopefully you can have that this evening in Fairhope, and say hey, everybody at the bookstore for me, and make sure they follow Ukulele Barbecue and check out our interview today.